I think this is my first time doing like a chatty all the way through. Like I'm not fast forwarding. Wait a minute. This isn't really a makeup based video. Wow, what's on my face? This is in response to a blog post that I put up a few days ago about staying motivated while looking for a job. So that prompted a lot of questions from you guys about, was this my reason for moving to New York, what industry I was trying to get into, how I decided to leave my job and move from Chicago. I'm just gonna do my makeup while I talk about it, okay? There is absolutely nothing wrong with Chicago. I don't dislike Chicago. I've always moved ever since I was a little baby. Like I've never lived in one place for too long. I wasn't originally from Chicago. I just went to college there. I've always moved like every 2 to 3 years up until I went to college, or up until high school, where I begged my parents to let me stay in one high school because I did not want to go through being the new kid in high school. So I begged them to let me stay through high school. And then when I moved to Chicago, I stayed in Chicago until August of this year. I kind of started feeling like around year 6 or 7, like I was like, it was too small for me. Not that it was too small, but I knew it too well. So I don't know if that was just because I moved all the time, but that's how I started feeling. I just realized like I'm 25, 26. I'm nowhere near what I want to be doing. Maybe February, late February, I made a decision. I'm gonna go ahead and move. And I honestly think that a lot of my family and friends thought I was joking. I feel like they were like, oh yeah, Niara's moving. I don't think they thought I was serious, like, whatever. I did get the question about like, was I prepared, or what was it? It asked me something like that, like, was I prepared? But basically, no, I was not prepared. I thought I was prepared moving here, but I was not. And let me just tell you, whatever you think you need to save to move to New York, save double that. Because in all reality, I should have saved like double, triple what I saved to move here. I was moving with my boyfriend, so I was every time I would think of something, I would be like, oh, but we're gonna be cutting that in half anyway, so I really don't need to save that much. It's always better to be more prepared. And then especially because the way I move, like I didn't take anything with me. I didn't take furniture. All I took was my clothes and my makeup, basically. Okay, so I also got the question like, what industry do you want to be in? So I have a degree in fashion business from Columbia College. And so that was always the lane that I was looking at. When I graduated, my intention was to first move to New York as soon as I graduated. That kind of went on the back burner. It's so expensive to move to New York, and at that time I was still heavily depending on my parents. Like I worked a little part-time job, but I didn't have anything full-time that would be able to support a move to New York. I'm actually glad I didn't go because I feel like I'm more prepared now moving here as far as like mentally. I saw they were hiring a and so I applied and I went in. I guess this kind of will segue into why I decided to leave my job. It was, like I said, I wasn't in my field. The atmosphere at the company was not really to my liking. As far as like, I didn't really feel like it was the most professional environment to be in, if we're gonna be frank. Like, I found myself side-eyeing quite a few things on a daily. And that's just to be honest. That also made the like decision to be like, it's time to go that much easier. Like, It was never like a plaguing question like, what will I leave? No, I could have kicked that bucket a long time ago, if you want to be honest. It was good for that time, I will say, because I feel like if I hadn't worked there, like a lot of the experiences, like life experiences that I have now, like I wouldn't have if I didn't work there, like the friends that I made. It wasn't until I got here that I realized maybe it's not fashion, which scared the hell out of me. I'm gonna be completely honest. All I had been saying and knowing for like the longest time. So to get here and to be like, oh no, like it might not be fashion, I was terrified. I honestly was like, did I just jump up and like make this move? Like, I was actually working with a headhunter. It wasn't until the headhunter came to me and was like, would you be interested in working in the beauty industry? And I was like, yeah, I would. I don't know why it took her saying that to me. I mean, hello, I have a whole channel dedicated to beauty. I mean, I guess you could say at this point, like I have a passion for beauty, so much so that I spend my own time and money outside of work doing it because it just makes me happy. Never fret, your girl has found a job in the beauty industry. It is a beauty company that owns a lot of other beauty companies, and it's a well-known company. So that's all I'm gonna leave it at. But I have found a job, so thank you for all your keep it going girl, keep it strong, like inspirational, pump me up messages. I really appreciate that. I purposely waited until I had found a job to write that post. Not because I didn't want to like share like during the struggle or anything like that, but I wanted to be able to look at everything in hindsight, to give advice on like if there's anything I would do differently or change. By the way, I said I wasn't gonna talk about makeup, but I do think I like this lime crime brow stuff. I am in my industry now, or in my industry that I didn't know was my industry, which how could I not know with all of this makeup sitting in front of me? So yeah, I am in my industry now, and I won't say I have my dream job because I don't even really know what I want from this industry just yet. The subway, the one thing I was like really nervous about, it was not that hard for me. The one thing I am going to have to get used to is the fact that I don't have any friends here yet. I also got a few questions about how I'm dealing with being away from my family. So if you haven't been paying attention this whole video, or if I haven't made an appearance, I haven't lived in the same city as either of my parents for 8 years now. To me, being close to my family is how long is it gonna take me to get to you on an airplane. Like I don't ever wanna be more than 2 or 3 hours away from my mom on an airplane. I haven't lived near my family in a very long time, so that's never, I mean, that's kind of been my norm since I was a kid. So whenever you guys ask, how did I know the job was for me, the job that I ended up taking, and I told her, there's always gonna be uncertainty, I feel like, when you're going into a new job as far as like, can I do this? And for me, everything happened so seamlessly to where I was like, I'm not going to let my doubts about myself like make me like second guess if I can do this. I know I can do this. And it wasn't like I picked up and moved like one day. It was planned like a couple months out, but it definitely wasn't like if you had asked me a year ago while I was working that job where I would be, I definitely wouldn't have said I'm gonna be in New York next year, working in the beauty industry. So like, dang, I need a sharpener. Oh, let's work on that. I think that might be all of the questions that you guys asked me. I don't know. This eye, do y'all see how this eyeshadow looks black on the inner corner of my eye? What have I done? So yeah, I hope that like explained a bit about why I did what I did, how I decided to do it, all that jazz, because you guys seem really interested and really liked the post that I put up about staying motivated while looking for a job.